Welcome to our deep dive into the fascinating world of psychology. You know, folks, for years I've dedicated my life to understanding the human mind, and let me tell you, it's a complex and intriguing thing. Today, we'll explore the various fields that psychologists specialize in. We're going to pull back the curtain and see how these dedicated professionals use their knowledge to help people overcome challenges, improve their lives, and just plain understand themselves better. We're talking about the real nitty-gritty here, the stuff that makes us tick. So buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride. Now, when most people think psychology, they think clinical psychology, and for good reason. These are the folks on the front lines, dealing with some of the toughest challenges out there: depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, you name it. See, clinical psychologists are trained to assess, diagnose, and treat a wide range of mental health disorders. They're like the detectives of the mind, piecing together the puzzle of someone's thoughts, feelings, and behaviors to figure out what's really going on. They don't just slap a label on it and call it a day, though. They work with their patients one-on-one, developing individualized treatment plans using a variety of therapies like cognitive behavioral therapy, which helps people identify and change negative thought patterns, or psychodynamic therapy, which delves into past experiences to uncover unresolved issues. These are the folks who are out there, day in and day out, helping people navigate the darkest corners of their minds and find their way back to the light. It's tough work, but somebody's got to do it. And let me tell you, it takes a special kind of person to be a clinical psychologist. You need empathy, compassion, and a whole lot of patience. But most importantly, you need a genuine desire to help people, to walk alongside them on their journey to healing and recovery. It's not about judging or labeling, it's about understanding and empowering. And that's what makes clinical psychology so damn important. Now, counseling psychology. This is where the rubber meets the road. We're talking about helping everyday folks deal with everyday problems, relationship issues, work stress, grief and loss, you know, the stuff life throws at you when you least expect it. Counseling psychologists are like the coaches of the mental health world. They help you identify your strengths, develop coping mechanisms, and build the resilience you need to tackle life's curveballs. They create a safe and supportive environment where you can talk openly and honestly about what's going on in your head and your heart. No judgment, no shame, just pure, unadulterated support. And let's be clear, folks, seeking help from a counseling psychologist isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. It means you're willing to take control of your mental well-being and make positive changes in your life. They're trained in a variety of techniques, from cognitive behavioral therapy to mindfulness-based stress reduction, all designed to help you develop healthy coping mechanisms and build the emotional intelligence you need to thrive in this crazy world. So if you're feeling stuck, lost, or just plain overwhelmed, don't hesitate to reach out to a counseling psychologist. They're here to listen, to guide, and to help you get back on track. Remember, asking for help isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of strength. Let's talk about the kids, folks. Our children are our future, and it's our responsibility to make sure they have the support they need to thrive. That's where school and educational psychologists come in. These dedicated professionals work tirelessly to create a positive and supportive learning environment for students of all ages. From elementary school to college, they're like the guardians of our children's mental health and well-being, identifying and addressing learning disabilities, providing counseling and support, and working with teachers and parents to create individualized education plans. Think about it, folks. These kids are dealing with a lot: academic pressure, social anxiety, bullying, not to mention the everyday stress of just growing up. School psychologists provide a safe and confidential space for students to talk about their problems, develop coping mechanisms, and learn how to navigate the often treacherous waters of adolescence. They're also trained to identify and address more serious mental health issues, like depression, anxiety, and even suicidal thoughts. These are the folks who are on the front lines, making sure our kids have the support they need to not just survive, but to thrive. They're the unsung heroes of our education system, and their work is absolutely essential. Now let's get down to the nitty-gritty of the human mind. Experimental and physiological psychology. That's where the real detective work happens. These folks are like the Sherlock Holmes of psychology, using scientific methods to unravel the mysteries of the brain and behavior. They design and conduct research studies to understand how we think, learn, remember, and perceive the world around us. They're investigating everything from the biological basis of emotions to the cognitive processes involved in decision-making. We're talking brain imaging, cognitive testing, physiological measurements, you name it, they're doing it. And the insights they're uncovering? Groundbreaking. They're helping us understand the root causes of mental illness, develop new and more effective treatments, and even enhance human performance in areas like sports, education, and the workplace. They're pushing the boundaries of our understanding of what it means to be human, and their work has the potential to revolutionize the way we approach mental health and well-being. So the next time you hear about a groundbreaking study on the brain or a new discovery about human behavior, you can bet your bottom dollar that an experimental or physiological psychologist is behind it. Now let's talk about the workplace, folks. We spend a huge chunk of our lives at work, so it's only natural that we want to be happy and productive while we're there. That's where industrial and organizational psychology, or IO psychology, comes in. These folks are like the efficiency experts of the human mind, using psychological principles to improve workplace productivity, employee morale, and overall organizational effectiveness. They're the ones who help companies design better hiring processes, develop more effective training programs, and create a more positive and engaging work environment. We're talking about everything from reducing workplace stress and burnout to improving communication and teamwork. They're also experts in organizational change and development, helping companies navigate mergers, acquisitions, and other major transitions smoothly and effectively. In today's fast-paced, ever-changing business world, IO psychologists are more important than ever. They're the ones who help companies stay ahead of the curve by attracting and retaining top talent, fostering innovation and creativity, and creating a workplace culture that values employee well-being. So the next time you walk into a well-designed office, participate in an engaging training program, or feel genuinely appreciated by your employer, you might just have an IO psychologist to thank. They're the unsung heroes of the business world, working behind the scenes to make our work lives more productive, more fulfilling, and just plain better. Social psychology, decoding human interactions. Now let's talk about the power of the group, folks. Social psychology. It's all about how we humans interact with each other, how we influence each other, and how our behavior is shaped by the social world around us. These folks are like the social anthropologists of the mind, studying everything from group dynamics and conformity to prejudice and discrimination. They want to understand why we do the things we do in groups, why we're drawn to certain people, and how our social environment shapes our beliefs and attitudes. They're conducting experiments, observing group behavior, and crunching data to figure out what makes us tick in social situations. And let me tell you, the insights they're uncovering are fascinating. They're helping us understand the root causes of social problems, like prejudice and discrimination, develop more effective strategies for conflict resolution, and even create more persuasive marketing campaigns. Social psychology is all about understanding the invisible forces that shape our social world, the unspoken rules, the subtle cues, the power dynamics that influence our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. So the next time you're in a crowded room, observe a heated debate, or witness an act of kindness, take a moment to appreciate the complex social forces at play. There's a whole lot more going on beneath the surface than meets the eye, and social psychologists are the ones who are helping us make sense of it all. Developmental psychology, from cradle to grave. You know, folks, life is a journey. We're constantly changing, evolving, and adapting from the moment we're born until the day we die. And developmental psychology, that's the field that tracks these changes across our entire lifespan. These folks are like the historians of the human mind, charting our course from infancy to old age and everything in between. They're studying how our cognitive abilities develop, how our social relationships change, and how our personalities evolve as we navigate the different stages of life. They're observing infants, interviewing children, testing teenagers, surveying adults, all to understand the complex interplay of biological, psychological, and social factors that shape who we become. And the insights they're uncovering? Invaluable. They're helping us understand the critical periods for language development, the challenges of adolescence, the cognitive decline associated with aging, and everything in between. They're providing insights into how we can optimize child development, support healthy aging, and address developmental challenges at every stage of life. Developmental psychology reminds us that we're never truly finished growing and changing. It's a lifelong process, and understanding the factors that influence our development can help us live richer, fuller, and more meaningful lives. Community psychology, empowering communities, transforming lives. Now let's talk about community, folks. We're all part of something bigger than ourselves, and community psychology recognizes the profound impact that our social environment has on our mental health and well-being. These folks are like the social architects of the mind, working to create healthier, more supportive, and more just communities for everyone. They're not just focused on individuals, they're focused on systems. They're looking at the big picture, trying to understand how social structures, institutions, and policies impact the well-being of entire communities. They're working to prevent problems before they start, to empower marginalized groups, and to promote social justice and equality for all. We're talking about tackling issues like poverty, discrimination, access to healthcare, and educational disparities. They're not just sitting in ivory towers theorizing, they're out in the trenches, working alongside community members to create positive change. They're facilitating community dialogues, advocating for policy changes, and empowering individuals to become agents of change in their own communities. Community psychology reminds us that we're all interconnected, that our well-being is inextricably linked to the well-being of our communities. By working together, by supporting each other, we can create a world where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. Until next time, thank you for joining us on this journey through the diverse fields of psychology. We've covered a lot of ground, from the depths of the human mind to the complexities of our social world. We hope you found this exploration insightful and informative. Remember, psychology is more than just a subject to study. It's a lens through which we can better understand ourselves, our relationships, and the world around us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more educational content. And until next time, keep those minds curious and those hearts open.